Hey, how did you get into my house? So, you may be wondering, what am I doing? I'm getting ready for a party. Yes, I, Kaspi, was invited to a party. And, I'm excited. You see, it's not just any party. It's an indie game discussion party about bugs. I can't wait to talk about webbed and... I wonder how many people are going to be there. Hundreds, thousands, millions. Oh wait, shit, Holland. Two. There are two people at this party.
What do you mean? Don't forget about John.
That's a bag of flour.
John is human too.
Yo everybody, my name is Kaspi and
I think I just played perfection in video game form.
Hollow Knight is a game made by Australian studio Team Cherry. The game started development in 2013. Sort of. You see, the knight in the game was used in a game jam game named Hungry Knight. It was made for the Ludum Dare jam. They liked the character so much they decided to reuse it for Hollow Knight. Fuck it, let's review that too. Alright, as expected, it's quite simple. You play as this hungry knight, haha, and kill enemies so that they give you food and stay alive. If your food runs out, you die. If you hit an enemy, you die. It's a game where you die. Well, that's that. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Wowee! Later, when they decided to start the actual development of Hollow Knight, while making the game, they decided to use the knight and make all the characters and enemies bugs. This is why I'm talking about it now. No other reason. It is a bug indie video game. That is why I talk about it. Yeah. They started a Kickstarter and it was quickly supported and then some, reaching 4 of its stretch goals. Sure, not all of them, but 4 is pretty damn good. My personal experience with this game doesn't run too deep. I bought it a while back and played it for about 5 hours before stopping because I had too much going on at the time. But now that Hollow Knight Silksong is coming out next year, hopefully, I swear to God don't delay it, Team Cherry, I thought I'd hop back into it and see if I could finally beat it. I did so within a week, and as of writing this, I've played a total of 55 hours, and I'm tempted to do a second playthrough, so yeah, I kind of like it. a little bit. Let's talk about it.
I don't care.
Why?
Because that's not why we're here.
Yes, it is. It's an indie game discussion about bugs party.
This is a funeral.
To who?
My brother.
Oh. I do remember seeing him die on TV.
No, it's my brother, Basement Goblin.
So, how's the grieving process?
I sat on the toilet for 8 hours each day for the past 4 weeks since he died. It's not fun. The only thing that helps is his juice box. Man, this is bullshit!
This is one of the title screens ever. As in one of the best. Sure, it may be quite simple, but it immediately shows the gothic style of the game and showcases the beautiful music you're about to experience throughout the entire game. The wonderful logo being both simplistic and wonderfully complicated with all the swirls and patterns. God, the fact I ever stopped playing this is a mystery. Also, did I mention the music? It perfectly encapsulates the vibe and feeling of the game. It has a somber tone, perfectly encapsulating what you're about to get into. I feel like I'm saying encapsulating a lot. Encapsulating. Try saying that 40 fucking times fast. Speaking of which, let's get into the game. We hop into the game and see a nicely made cutscene giving us a bit of vague lore. The entire game takes the Dark Souls approach of vague hints of a story culminating in me watching a long-ass lore video to understand things, and also realize explaining it in this video is a terrible idea. However, the cutscenes themselves, while usually short and rare, are absolutely wonderful and beautiful. God, I'm so excited. It's also at this point I should say, play this game as spoiler-free as possible. Trust me, the more blind the better.
Alright, let's actually get to talking about it now.
Let's not do that at my brother's funeral.
Who are you anyway?
What's my name? Chris.
Oh, finally, somebody with a normal name.
Crispy Bacon.
God damn it! What does the P stand for anyway? Pancakes?
Oh, you fucking idiot! It stands for puffin! My parents had an affinity for words!
That's not any better.
Shut the fuck up, go back to the stupid bug game.
Didn't you just say...
Keep talking about your stupid bug game!
It's not stupid.
Let's do this. This is King's Pass, the first area, and it seamlessly teaches you the basic mechanics of the game. Jumping and slashing are your main two moves,
For now.
and it feels great. Never in my life have I played a game with such precise and good platforming. It's just, you look at a place and you go, yeah, I can do that, or no, I can't do that. And every time you say, yeah, I can do that, you always have the confidence to actually succeed, because you know exactly how jumping works. Combat as well is simple yet intuitive. To begin with, only a simple slash in all four directions with some knockback. Perfecting the combat takes a surprising amount of skill, as you need to perfect when to slash, when to jump, when to dodge, and most importantly, when to heal. When you get hit, the impact feels very significant, since when you get hit, the sound effects and music get muffled, and can get you a little panicked very easily, which I personally adore. The healing mechanic is quite unique as well, as it requires soul. Soul is sort of like mana or slash MP in an RPG, as it's the resource used to do magic. The only one unlocked at the beginning is the heal. Press and hold a button, then you heal. Yeah, it uses up a third of your soul. The soul will be white instead of grey whenever you can heal or do any spell, which, means that you can just quickly take a peek and know exactly if you can do something. I love this mechanic, as it means you have to learn when and where to heal during the boss fights in the game. You need to be really good to know when to heal, and I just adore that as a mechanic. It's not just a button press. You sit still for a second as you heal, and it makes you need to strategize a lot more than in other similar games. Let's get back to the main progression here before I smite myself! So next up is Dormouth. A little rundown town with a frowning man with a plan and a fantastic tan. Sorry about that. It's a little rundown town where there is currently only one inhabitant, Elderbug. I don't have a ton to say about him specifically, but Dormouth is a nice calming place and area with not too much to do. Later there will be merchants that you can go to and talk to, and sometimes other NPCs in general. It's also the only area fully free from enemies, so it's a nice relaxing spot that you'll go back to throughout the game. Following our platforming intuition, we go right. If you go right, you fall down a well and enter the vast kingdom of Hallownest, starting with the Forgotten Crossroads. At this point, I won't be saying too much about the progression of levels for two reasons. One, keeping it spoiler free, you dig? And two, this is a Metroidvania, and thus will be very different from playthrough to playthrough. While the beginning will likely be quite similar for everyone, as you enter City of Tears, you can basically go anywhere. With that being said, I'll talk about a lot of things in order. As an example,
No!
Why?
We have already established this. Oh, I'm a patron. I forget what I said. Wait a minute. So originally, Chase was going to have this job, but he already got fired on it before he even started his first shift. So I'm a stand-in priest. Today, we mourn this fucking loser! Come on, it was funny. Sorry, that was lung cancer. It was kind of funny though. What the fuck?
as an example, the upgrades. Well, this is another thing that can depend on how you play. You'll always start with Vengeful Spirit. A big boom, shoot, bang, bang, you're dead attack that deals a significant amount of damage. Great for enemies where you can't get close because they're dangerous up close, or it's this thing, and you need it to be dead so you can progress. It also allows you to get to Green Path, generally considered the second area. Then we get a dash and the momentum keeps spiraling. By the end of the game, you have a double jump, ground pound thing, and a dash with invulnerability frames, making combat feel like a dance. Speaking of the Vengeful Spirit, bosses. The first boss is this little fella called False Knight. He's a great skill check as he has a simple pattern of attacks, a jump, a swing with a shockwave, a jump swing without a shockwave, and a rampage attack. Due to the limited moveset at this time, these are the perfect set of moves for the time. The bosses in the game are generally really great. Big to small, easy to hard, cool to fluke marm. They're all a good skill check, even later when the game is more open-ended. Sure, some bosses can be either really hard or piss easy depending on when you get to them, but I find that to be a good way to either feel a sense of triumph or a sense of, oh shit, I'm strong now. And that's a great feeling if you ask me. With this all being said, I'm introducing a new segment. My top 10 Hollow Knight bosses in no particular order within the pre-existing Hollow Knight video because making a full video isn't something I really want to do, so I'll just say like a sentence per boss. Also spoilers. I'll be talking about late game shit. First up, Tongue Defender. Haha, doo-doo funny. He's probably the best example of a boss that's either easy or hard. He's just a jolly fella, and I admire that about him. In a game filled with sad people, there's just somebody who likes a good fight, and that's nice. There's a second version named the White Defender, but honestly I prefer the fact that it could be either easy or hard as a skill check. Also, White Defender sounds like a Nazi YouTuber. The Collector is real strange, but I also love him. He gives you the grub map, I'll get back to that, and that's neato. He collected all the grubs, again, I'll get back to that, and ooh, he's just so weird. God Tamer is at the end of the Trial of the Fool. What's that? God, I shouldn't have made this section so early in the video. It's 2 bosses in 1, and that's pretty neato. It's really hard, but I love it. Hornet is fought 3 times throughout the story, and is a fan favorite for a reason. And she stars in Silksong. But yeah, bug waifu fun fighting. The Mantis Lords have music like... and are also pretty neat. You first fight one, and by the time you understand the pattern, you beat it. Once you beat it, you get the other 2 at once, which is a good step up in difficulty. God, it's just really well done. There's a reason it's a fan favorite, again. Nightmare King Grim is by far the hardest boss of the game, at least as of recording this video. I even recorded the final attempt of me beating this boss as I wanted to include my reaction to me finally beating it. The only one of its kind. Oh no, how could I have fucking missed all of that? Yes! Let's go! Please, don't tell me this is a fake out. Please. Oh, that felt really good. That felt so good. Holy shit. Okay. Oh, yes. 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 Let's fucking go, Ritual. Yeah! Oh my god. Who? Fuck yeah, I'm back in. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I've never reacted like that to any boss in my life, at least that I can remember. Hive Knight is a bee. I like bees. Also, he has a fun set of moves, quite similar to Hornet, which makes sense in the universe. As a bonus, he's in one of my favorite areas, the Hive. So, that's cool. Broken Vessel is the closest thing to a rival fight in this game, though I guess Hornet would also be that? Whatever. It's literally just you, but not. I adore it. The Radiant is the last boss, and is pretty neato. You do have to beat the Hollow Knight just to get to the boss, but the boss itself is lovely. Very fun and a good climax to this fantastic game. I will be talking about it more once I get into the super duper spoiler section though. And lastly, Nosk, my favorite boss, maybe. I guess I'll have this be a larger explanation? Yeah, sure. So you fight this guy in Deep Nest, a pretty spooky little area. Or, actually it's a pretty big area. And one of the reasons to this is what the fuck, why is it me, it's me, what the actual fucky fuck? Turns out this is the presence of Nosk, who copies people to fuck with people's heads. More specifically though, it looks into the mind of the one who receives the fuckery to choose whoever is most important to whoever is the victim. Usually a loved one or a lost one. This implies one of 2 things about the knight. Either that the knight is an egomaniac or he's incredibly lonely.
Egomaniac? That's me!
I adore this bit of lore and the implications for the player. The fight itself may not be on par with some others for a couple of reasons, however, it's a fun, challenging fight. This is a great boss that I adore. Thank you for watching this new segment that I'm sure to include in all future videos.
Can you please get back to the funeral?
Why?
Oh yeah, fair point.
I know, right?
No! Sauce, keep going.
No.
What?
Thank you. See, at least somebody has respect for me.
Oh no, I just don't see the point of continuing.
Cause it's your job?
Oh right.
Alright, I'm a little tired from that last section. What do I talk about now? Grubs. Remember the Collector? He's locked up a bunch of these grubs, little caterpillar dudes that you can find throughout the map. But you might be thinking, why would I save them? Because look at him! He is sad! This is the Grub Father. Not the Godfather, that's the wrong piece of media about bugs. He is, as the name suggests, the father of the grubs and is reasonably sad about losing all of his how many children? Man, Grub Father fucks! He also gives you gifts, mostly Geo, but also random relics, and 2 hold charms. So what are charms anyways? I'm glad you asked. It's only one of the best mechanics in this game. Throughout the game, there are these benches. They function as checkpoints, sort of like bonfires in Dark Souls. And at these benches, you can equip charms. Some are vague, like more health, more damage, more soul, more geo, so on and so forth. While some are more specific, like being able to move while healing or spawning little critters to help you out. The thing about them, and what makes them unique, is that they take up a certain amount of charm notches. You start with only 3, but accumulate a good chunk by the end of the game. Creating a good setup of charms is a lot of fun, and finding what works for you is very nice. Also, with some of them being for combat and some being for other various things, you can change it depending on where you are. For bosses, you'll want to maximize damage and healing possibility, while for general traversal, you'll want more movement-based ones. It's a fantastic mechanic that just adds to this so far 10 out of 10 experience of a game. Speaking of 10 out of 10 perfection, presentation. The visuals, as you've seen, are absolutely gorgeous. The monochrome and dingy colors of Dirtmouth and Forgotten Crossroads fit the dystopian vibes of this game. But beyond that, there are beautiful colors everywhere. And if we just ignore colors for a second, the general art style is also gorgeous and traditional, which looks, ooh, nice. The bugs make for a wider variety of different designs than you might think. Small or big, skinny or fat, gross or cute. So on and so forth. I'm just standing here with my incredibly long penis. Now what about the music? Is it good? Yes, it is! Oh, it makes me wanna... Yeah! Most of the time, as you've probably heard so far, it's quite melancholy. The entire soundtrack is filled with nice strings and piano, which can create for both sad dystopian vibes, or... yeah, that. God, I love this entire soundtrack. I can listen to it on repeat. Speaking of sounds, sound effects. As already mentioned, I love how everything muffles when you get hit. But more than that, everything just sounds really nice. Like the heal, which is all like... yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is that the presentation is another perfect part of this game. Yes, 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 yes! The areas are so varied and nice. I love it. Every area has a unique style visually, with the enemies, assets, music, obstacles, really everything. The progression is very good too. The game is decently linear up until you get the Mantis Claw, also known as the wall jump. Suddenly, oh boy, that's most of the map! Coliseum of Fools! The Coliseum of Fools is this little coliseum, no duh, of combat. There are 3 trials you can complete, giving you Geo and something else if you complete it. It's another great skill check. It can actually be accessed fairly quickly, right after the Dung Defender actually. The first one is decently easy, same with the second one. The final one, however, is tough, the Trial of the Fool. The end features the God Tamer, which as already stated is a difficult yet fun boss. It's a nice little detail that adds to the world and I felt like talking about it, okay? Okay? Speaking of side quests, I feel like talking about the Grey Mourner. Fuck this quest! So far I've only been gushing about its quality, but I have to use my little angry character, so here I am talking about this god-forsaken quest. So, this is the Grey Mourner. She is mourning about the death of some loser, I don't care, and wants to put her favorite flower at the grave. Problem? She can't, I guess. So you have to do it. Why? I don't know. Problem number 2, this flower is fragile and will break over fucking nothing. Getting hit is one thing, right? But guess what? Using stack stations, the fast travel, also breaks it. Do you realize how far away this fucking grave is? We go from here to here, and that's fine, I have to do without damage. Oh god, I hate this quest. Fuck you!
I have a feeling you don't like this quest.
No, I love it.
Okay, you just sound mad.
No, I was sarcastic.
Hasn't your dad already told you not to be sarcastic to mentally ill people?
Hey! How did you know?
My dad's dead.
What about your clone dad?
Yeah, he's Scottish. He doesn't really know whack.
Fair.
Fair.
See? Wait, how the fuck did you know about it?
By the way, I'm not saying all Scottish people don't know whack. Only Scottish clone dads. I would talk about the Godfather right now. It would have been a great transition, but I already talked about that. So let's talk about the Dream Nail. So once you enter the resting grounds for the first time, you get the Dream Nail. It allows you to read the memories and thoughts of enemies and NPCs. More importantly, you can do some very specific and significant things. Like for example, you can fight the Warrior of Dreams. Most of the Dream Warriors are pretty simple and easy. Thus why none of them made my top 10 Hollow Knight bosses in no particular order with the pre-existing Hollow Knight video, because of making a full video isn't something I really want to do, so I'll just say like a sentence per boss. However, you can also go into the mind of some earlier bosses to unlock harder versions of them. Dung Defender, False Knight, Soul Warrior, Broken Vessel, and one more boss, which isn't a pre-existing one, so I won't spoil. With all that being said though, I'm going to talk about the very end game. If you're at all interested, Do not watch this part. Skip right this second. Leave. Go! I said get a move on! So at some point you learn about the Dreamers, and I won't go into too much detail about them because this video is already long enough. Basically, find them, dream nail, and murder them. With the exception of Hera, all of them are guarded by a boss. Manamana is guarded by Umu, which is a pretty fun boss that nearly made my top 10. And the other one is guarded by the Watcher Knights. It's probably the hardest boss that is required to beat the game, as it's 6 bosses, wowee! After murdering these guys, you can go to the Black Egg Temple and defeat the Hollow Knight. However, if I'm being honest, this fight disappointed me. I beat it on my second try, and it didn't feel too challenging. Sure, it's tricky, but it telegraphs the attacks well and are easily dodgeable. However, defeating this guy only gives us one of the endings. The others, they're a lot more interesting. Once you get 1700 essence from doing the Dream Warriors, Dream Trees, or just by killing enemies, you get the Awakened Dream Nail, which allows you to Dream Nail this guy outside of the ruined White Palace. Then we get to the actual White Palace. The White Palace is a long, challenging, brutal platforming challenge. However, it's fair and fun to do, at least in my opinion. I've said I love the platforming in this game, however, there aren't a lot of platforming sections in this game. So this was what I needed the entire game, I guess. It's incredibly tricky, but with the right charms, it's impossible to die, so just throw your face at the wall. It'll work. There are 3 sections total, increasing in difficulty and length. At the end, you get half of a white fragment from the Pale King. You get the second half from the White Lady in the Queen's Gardens. Once you have this full charm, you can go down into the Abyss, a subsection of the Ancient Basin, and go deep, deep underground. We can dream nail our reflection, and we get lore! As said, I won't be talking about the lore in this video. Watch Mossbags' video for that. It's really good. Now the charm is upgraded, and we can now get 2 more endings. Go back to the Black Egg Temple, and Hornet will be outside. As I fight the Hollow Knight again, at some point Hornet comes in and pins it down. You can either kill him and get a pretty similar ending to the regular one, or you can dream nail the fucker and fight the Radiance. I've already talked about it briefly in my top 10 Hollow Knight boss. You know what, I'm not going to do that bit again. However, this one requires a bit more talking about because it's so good. So you get into the boss and you're all like, whoa, are we fighting the sun? But then you realize that no, it's just a Mothman. Woman? Non-binary pal? Moth non-binary pal. The attacks are a lot of fun to dodge, yet take a lot of skills to do. My biggest complaint about the boss is that every attack takes 2 masks off. I personally don't like it, but it's fine because this boss is a spectacle. Suddenly you only have a few platforms to dodge on, and then you have to make this epic climb while dodging laser beams, and oh my lord, I adore it! One last hit, and BAM! That's Hollow Knight, done and dusted. Good game. God, the end of this game is sick. But are the non-spoiler people back? Good. That's what's best for you. Well, that's Hollow Knight. There's tons more I could talk about, like the Grim Troop DLC or the Godmaster DLC, enemies, more of the NPCs, the writing, the humor, and so much more, but this video is already the size of the Bible movie adaptation, so I'll just say all those things are also 10 out of 10, because it's true. This is my new favorite game of all time, hands down. I thought recency bias might be kicking in, but after playing it a ton and having the intention to play it more, I realized I just adore this game more than every other game. With that being said, I guess I should redecorate my spaceship to make it more spaceship-like. Also, I'll add Hollow Knight representation. Yeah. We got some of my favorite boss battles on here. That's it. More than most games ever. Please play this. It's a genuine 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 24 out of 10. It is perfect in every sense of the word. Visuals, music, enemies, bosses, combat, platforming. Oh my god, I'm having a stroke!
Well, too bad that wasn't what I thought it was. But I'm going to a different party. Not sure what it's about. I think it's a discussion party about...
What?